being so involved in AI, do you have any concerns about it?
Definitely. And I actually
question.
saw this really interesting post the other day. It was on LinkedIn, and someone posted about how you have to be so careful of bias with AI. And the way they tested it was they were in Switzerland, and they said, give me the estimated salary for this particular job. And it was, they described like the tasks, where it was located, the seniority, and they said it's for a man. And then they did the exact copy, the exact same prompt, put into AI, but changed man to woman. And the female salary was less.
Yeah.
It was like $20,000 less. So we have to be careful because there's still biases that they're getting the information and knowledge from in the world. And so it kind of just carries on the bias.
Yeah.
So I think you just have to be so careful. And so that is a bit scary.
Yeah.
The amount of people that just literally rely on it and go, I'm going to just put this in a ChatGPT, ask it a question, and don't sense check it is scary, because ChatGPT and those kind of programs.
What do you mean by sense check it?
So they don't look at the source. They never say, where did you get this from?
So it could be just like spitted
it makes
random
it up.
facts.
Yeah, because it is a bit of a yes man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, ChatGPT, Claude, because they want to keep you happy because then you keep using it.
Yeah.
And it really honestly makes up a lot of stuff. So I always say to people, my tech stack is to use Perplexity for research, which is pretty much like Google, but it's like a conversational Google where you can ask it a question. So say, for example, I might say, where are the best microphones that I can buy? Like, what are the best microphones I can buy online? And then it'll give you the answer. And then I can keep going, where can I buy these in Melbourne? And then it'll give you the thing. Give me the top rated out of the, like, you know, you can just keep talking in that same chat. So it's really, really good, but it just gives you that answer straight away.
Yeah.
And it has all the sources, and it sort of shows you where it's coming from, and it actually has it footnoted as if it's like a reference. Whereas ChatGPT will just make stuff up and people just take it as gospel, and they don't then go in, because there's times where I've researched on ChatGPT and I'd go in and I'd say, give me the source where this is from. Then it gives me the source of the article. I go in and there's literally no mention of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think people need to be careful that, you know, just because it's said by AI doesn't mean that it's correct.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's definitely concerns around that. And then obviously people worry about losing their jobs to AI. But, you know, we always say you won't lose your job to AI, you'll lose your job to someone using AI. So it's like you need to actually make sure that you're using it. And I would say every single day be using it. Like you'll just fall behind if you don't.
Yeah.
And then set aside, if you can, 30 minutes a week where you can just try and test new things.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, probably 95%, probably even more, I'd say 99% of the AI platforms out there are crap.
Yeah.
So there's very few that are good.
As a fashion brand, and obviously we have Stitch Up, what AI programs would you recommend to us for our fashion brand, and then for like video production?
For any
and
e-commerce
stuff?
brand.
Like, what would be your top 3 for e-commerce brands?
Ooh, that's a good question. So there's definitely AI chatbots that are out there. So I think something like that, no brainer, because they're so much more sophisticated than your usual chatbots. I would also say I would use something like a ChatGPT or a Midjourney for image generation.
Okay.
So if you have, for example, your e-commerce images on a plain background and you want to put them on a model like running or you know, in a gym, you can do that. Or actually Nano Banana, which is Google's new.
I need to write all these down and then I forget we're recording.
So Nano Banana is like the weirdest name.
Yeah, okay.
But that's Google's new image generator. And it's probably the closest and the best one where it could take your exact object. So it could have like a pair of leggings and put that on a model.
Okay.
And that's been actually quite hard to date. And anything with text, ChatGPT or, you know, Midjourney or those kind of platforms just struggle to get text.
Yeah. I've used a few and I'm like, oh, that is not what I wanted. Like, you have this vision in your head and it's like, that's not what I wanted.
It. But it's also very literal as well. So I think people forget that it's still a machine. Like, whereas if I said to you, hey, can you do, you know, XYZ task, like you still have that common sense in your brain where you go, okay, I know what you want me to do. So say if I said to you, I've written this article, can you please rewrite it? You would go, okay, great. So I'll rewrite it to be, you know, XYZ to make the tone of voice different, whatever it is. But when I remember when I first used I was using ChatGPT for the first time, I said, can you please rewrite this article? And it literally just wrote out the exact same words. So it was so black and white.
Yeah.
And then in terms of your another way that you can use AI as a business, and this is like one that I feel like not a lot of people think about, is you can use it as if it's a person. So you can brief. So say, for example, you might not have a board or a CFO or a CEO or an ops manager. You can make it the persona and say, like, assume you are an experienced CEO of an activewear brand, or you might go, assume you're the CMO of Aloe Activewear.
Okay.
And then you can actually go, I've thought of this marketing campaign. I want you to critically analyze it. And you have to tell it to be mean to you, because
Oh, wow.
it's almost like too nice and
Yeah.
it won't be hypercritical. So I literally go as far as saying, you will not hurt my feelings. Like,
Ah.
I want you to be very
through me.
critical.
Yeah.
Or even like very specifically, pick 5 things that's fundamentally wrong with this marketing campaign,
Okay.
or whatever it is. So you can assume that it's, or get it to assume that it is a like a board member, CEO, CFO, expert, Steve Jobs. You know, you can actually now get mentored by some of the Whitney Wolf Herd. Like, you can just say, can you assume you're Whitney Wolf Herd? What advice would she give me in this situation?
Yeah.
And because there's so much information out there, you can go, okay, well, Whitney's most likely to say that. You can also get it to pretend it's your customer. So if you feed in your customer demographic, you can say, okay, assume that you're, you know, our ideal customer. We're thinking of doing this marketing campaign. How would you receive it? Would you take it well? Would you not take it well? What would you like to see instead? And so what people forget is, like, then you can all of a sudden access these pool of people at any moment. So you can do it at night, you can do it on weekends, because, like, you know, if you think about focus groups, can't just call a focus group at 11 o'clock at night when you might be working, whereas you can literally just go on and go, yeah, here you go, like, what do you think of this campaign? And then I actually also use it for therapy too. So it was like, I think it was 11 p.m. like a couple of months ago, and obviously I can't call my therapist and be like, hey, can you please talk to me now? Hello, wake up. So then I was lying in bed, my husband was asleep, and I was like, oh my God, I need to talk to someone because my mind is racing. I'm really stressed out about something. And I literally said, assume you're a therapist who specializes in working with founders. This is my situation. Can you give me some practical tips on how I can actually get through this situation and fall asleep, because I'm really struggling? And then I just sort of almost like had a discussion with it. And then I had some really good tips, and then I ended up being able to fall asleep. So yeah, there's so many ways. And we were talking about how lonely the founder journey is. Like, you know, I think it's almost like, I'm not saying it's ever going to replace human interaction, but there is something to be said for having literally someone on call whenever you want.
Yeah,
like,
literally 24/7.
That's it. Yeah.